Now we're back with Mike, Sarah, and Phil to do the Midwest. So, since we're all picking the ones, we got Virginia moving on, right?
Yeah.
All right, good. I don't believe in Hampton.
Yeah,
All right. Texas Tech, Butler, 8-9 game.
No Brad Stevens, no problem for this Butler Bulldog team, I think. They pulled off some good wins against Nova and Seton Hall earlier this year. Texas Tech, they did get a 2-point win over Oklahoma, but they did lose by 24. I don't think a good Texas Tech team shows up to play this one. I'm picking the Bulldogs.
They have a good Texas Tech team?
Yeah.
I feel the same way. I got Butler winning this one. I mean, they have great shooting, of course, when they're on lights out perimeter shooting, and I just think they're going to be on for this one and take Texas Tech down.
I'm going to have to side with you two and the county that Josh Krupp and I reside in, Butler County, but we're going to go with the university. We're going to take Butler over Texas Tech. There we go.
All right, now we go to another 5-12 matchup. Purdue versus Arkansas Little Rock. Boilermakers or those Trojans?
I'm going to go with Purdue on this one, without a doubt.
I don't see an upset here personally. I'm going to side with you, and I'm going to go with Purdue.
Yep, Boilermakers. They have some tough competition in the Big Ten this year with like Indiana, Michigan State, and if you want to put Maryland in there. I think Boilermakers have no problem in this one.
All right, now we're going to go to 4-seed Iowa State versus 13-seed Iona. Now, this is Paul Daniels' Iona team. He's been talking this team up to me the past few days. Are you guys going to ride with Iona and Paul Daniels, or are we going Iowa State?
Well, we know how the Iowa schools treated us last year, especially the pride and joy Iowa State. So you know what? I'm not riding with Iowa State again this year. I am going to go with Iona and A.J. English pulling off the upset.
This one was a tough one. This was almost like a coin toss one for me. Even though it's like an upset, you got a 13 versus a 4. I like Iona, but I went with Iowa State because I felt Iowa was finally going to – the state of Iowa was finally going to get a win here. I like Iowa's team. It's a decent offensive team, and I think they're going to win this one.
Last time I picked a 13 to beat a 4, I got tore to shreds.
I'm
going with Iowa State on this one. A.J. English, hey,
that would have been the right time.
That is an appealing name to pick, but I don't think he can take on an entire Big 12 team by himself. I'm going with Iowa State on this one.
I guess I'll agree with you guys, but Phil and I did tell you to beware the Ides of March.
That's right.
But hey, don't listen to the old guys.
Obviously
but hey,
not the whole
now
segment.
We'll go 6-seed Seton Hall, who finally back in the tournament versus everyone's favorite disappointment from the past couple years, Gonzaga. Who you guys got?
Well, Whitehead is a heck of a guard for Seton Hall, in my opinion, that is. And they finished the year strong, but Gonzaga also finished the year strong. They finished hot offensively. I see that carrying over into the tournament, and I'm going to pick Gonzaga to pull the upset here.
I also have the upset on this one with Gonzaga.
Ooh.
I just think the combination of Sabonis
They'll
and
pick
Wilher.
the upset this time.
Sabonis, 17.4 points a game he's averaging. Kyle Wilher, 20.7 points. I just think that combination, I think it's going to get him past Seton Hall.
No argument out of me. I'm glad you guys came to the right side this time.
Well, at least you finally taught him a lesson. Now we'll go over to the coaches over there at the couch.
You want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
After you.
All right, gang, you're on fire. I like this group. I think Gonzaga is going to win as well. I think Gonzaga is on a good winning streak right now. They have they finished 26-7. They've been right under the radar. All their losses have come by less than 10 points. And some of the teams they lost to was Texas A&M, Arizona, UCLA, SMU. But I think that they can score enough
after
points.
The first half?
Yeah, I think they can score enough points because they're averaging close to 80 a game. They're giving up under a little under 60, a little under 70. Excuse me. I think this Gonzaga team could make a deep run, if we want to say, but I think they can get past this Seton Hall team.
I can't disagree more. This is probably the worst Gonzaga team we've seen in the tournament in a very long time. Granted, Domantas Sabonis is great. I watched him in that half against Pitt, and he was great. And I tried to catch here or there when it was on at like midnight out there on the West Coast. But this is not a good team. Seton Hall is hot. Whitehead's one of the best guards in the country. I think Seton Hall can win this one. I guess the best teams they competed against were Pitt, where they were losing to. St. Mary's they lost to twice in the twice in the regular season, I believe, correct? And St. Mary's isn't even in the NCAA tournaments. I can't see Gonzaga making any kind of run, even winning a game in this.
My thing is Gonzaga, they're on a 5-game winning streak. They had a couple of 5-game winning streaks throughout the season. So I think that they have the experience. I think, I mean, Seton Hall, yes, they did win their conference championship against my
Who was that?
Villanova
Yeah.
Wildcats.
Yep,
but
Villanova.
hey, it's whatever. But I think that this Gonzaga team, they can take it to Seton Hall.
All right, boys.
Okay.
In girls, sorry, Sarah, are we Utah or Fresno State? Are we picking the underdog here?
I got Utah on this one. I'm not picking the underdog on this one. I just think they have a more solid team and they play well together. And then you have the 7-foot sophomore in the Austrian Jakob Podol. So I just think he's averaging 17.8 points per game, 9 rebounds, and shooting 66% from the field. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that close of a game.
Don't be surprised if Utah loses.
That is going to be a close matchup, but I have to agree. I see Utah pulling this one out and getting through Fresno.
I agree with them. I see Utah making the pass this round behind Pirtle, the 7-foot sophomore forward. Almost averages a double-double. I think he really dominates in this one against
I mean,
Fresno.
he only shoots like 66%, but beware of the Bulldogs. This is my, Utah I think is a really good team. But Fresno State's that team no one's talking about. Everyone's saying they could do it. And that team every year is usually the team that ends up picking. I won't go and say all the way that they'll do it, but I'll say there's a really good chance. I'll go 50-50 on this game, but I got Utah down. Now we're going to go to the Syracuse Orangemen versus Dayton.
I'm going to take this one because Syracuse shouldn't have even been in the tournament. I have Dayton winning this one. They're one of the best defensive games. They have to finish the game, but I think they're going to.
I actually am going to disagree with this one. I do understand the argument that Syracuse shouldn't be in the tournament, but they are in the tournament. And to me, Pitt and Syracuse are eerily similar. So, in my opinion, I think Syracuse is going to beat this Dayton team. Dayton can play defense, but Syracuse has the zone. They're gonna escape from the first round. I mean, they're not going to make it much further, but.
No, I think the zone has no effect on this game for Syracuse. I think Dayton beats it rather easily. Syracuse should not be here. I agree with Sarah, Trevor, who else ever said that. A couple other teams that should be here over Syracuse, especially as a 10 seed. Come on, but that's for a different topic. Yeah, I'm going with Dayton. I went with them a few years ago when they made a little run. Going with them again this year.
All right, now we'll go back over to our coaches at the couch.
Phil, come on. Why?
Syracuse can pull off a run or an upset in the NCAA tournament. Whether or not they deserve to be there, they are there. I'm not going to discredit the chance that they can win one game in the NCAA tournament over a Dayton team.
It's not happening.
They don't have the offensive talent. The 2-3 zone will cause some problems for Dayton. It does for everyone who's not used to seeing it over and over. Granted, they see Xavier with their zone defense, so it won't be as big of a transition for them. But I can't see Syracuse.
I can't see them at all.
No, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going back to the top because if you guys aren't picking Michigan State, then
No.
I'm going to ask you guys to leave right
Just
now.
go ahead.
Right.
All right,
Move on.
good. Virginia versus Butler.
I have Virginia winning this game. As much as I said, Butler has some good shootings, Virginia's got some veterans, their experience, and they're one of only 2 teams that rank among the top 10 in both offensive and defensive efficiency. So they're versatile. They're balanced. They got the best of both worlds, and I think that's going to carry them over Butler.
Yeah, they have 8 top 25 wins this year. No magic for the Bulldogs this year. I'm going with Virginia.
Yeah, Virginia, they have Malcolm Brogdon, 19 points per game, averages 89% from the free throw line, which is going to be huge the further they go into the tournament. They beat WVU, Villanova, Miami, Louisville, UNC. Just an overall better class. They're going to take this game.
Well, now we'll transition to Purdue versus that state school we don't talk about.
I'm going with the Boilermakers on this one. I don't know if you want to call it that much of an upset, 5 beating a 4. It's really not. But they got to the Big Ten championship game, and they almost beat Michigan State, who I consider to be one of the best schools, if not a 1 seed, that they should have been Michigan State. So Boilermakers winning this one.
I have Purdue also. I just think in that dual 7-footers in A.J. Hammonds and Isaac Haas, I think they're big, they're tough. That imposing rebounding underneath team, I think it's just going to carry them over.
Well, personally, I was actually on the Paul Daniels bandwagon, and I would have had Iona beating Purdue, but that's not how we have it. So I really don't have much faith in this Iowa State team, so I'd go with Purdue as well.
All right, Boilermakers with a clean sweep. Gonzaga versus Utah, the battle of the international big men.
This is a rough one. I'm not quite sure which way to lean on this one, but I gotta go with Utah. I'm gonna guess they get
You sound real
lot of.
convincing there.
Yeah, I know. I'm not even sold on Utah beating Gonzaga, but I'm gonna make my pick. I'm not gonna pull an Alex Mardich and go both ways here. But oh, he's not here. I shouldn't say that. He can defend himself.
He'll see it on
But,
he'll see it on YouTube.
they're not a great Pac-12 team. We know that. They're ranked 3. They're a little overrated, but I still think Utah will find a way to pull off the win over Gonzaga.
I agree. I have Utah winning this one. I mean, it's a tough one, and I don't really have anything either way. But, I mean, I just think as much as Gonzaga has good guards, besides that, they really have nothing. And so I just think Utah being the more solid team is going to win this one.
The opinion doesn't matter. Utah's going to go, but I think Gonzaga's going to make a little bit of a run. I really do. I know that they've struggled the last couple of years, and this is arguably their worst team. But I don't know, something about Wilter and Domantas Sabonis. I mean, they're good scorers, good rebounders. I really think that Gonzaga's going to go a couple rounds, so I would have had Gonzaga. But
I mean, this is going to be the battle of all name teams, but now we go to Dayton, Michigan State. Is there going to be an upset here of the two?
I don't think there's any chance of an upset. Like Mike said earlier, I think Michigan State should have got the one, but besides the fact that I think this Michigan State team is a really, really good team, and I have them going far, so I think they'll take Dayton.
I feel like Michigan State, it kind of fares them a little better now that I look at it more and more, that they were the 2 seed. I feel like they have a little, not easier of a route, but still not as challenging as Virginia has it as the number 1 seed. I'm going with the big green on this one, Michigan State.
yeah, I'd have to agree. In the bottom part of that bracket, there really aren't any great teams. I mean, like Fresno State, Gonzaga, Seton Hall, Syracuse. So, yeah, I'd say Michigan State's, they're going to make a run.
All right, back up to the top. Virginia, Purdue.
I think this one's going to be a really close game, but I'm going with Virginia on this one. I just like
With a final score of 40-34.
it is going to be
win's a
low
win.
scoring, but I like their veteran experience that they bring. Like Phil brought up, 18.7 points per game for Brogdon. Even though Mike Tobey's numbers aren't great, he's still 7 foot and he's a senior, and that's that leadership quality that I think it's going to carry them over Purdue. And you have to throw in Perantes. He's shooting 48% from the threes, so I think they're going to win that game.
Well, I think we're going to toss it over to the coaches and see
Sarah
what they
said
have
it
to
all.
say.
Virginia, they're better than last year's Virginia team. I'll give them that. Malcolm Brogdon is a great player, but Virginia is Pitt in the ACC. Great
Wait.
defense, one really good scorer, and that's really about it. I can't see them getting past Purdue with their big guys underneath. It's just, I can't see it.
I mean, I have Virginia making it far, but to also agree with Trevor, you would have to look at Virginia over the past few years. Virginia has always been a great defensive team, but offensively, they just have not had it. And granted, they are scoring 70 points a game. They're allowing less than 60 points a game. But besides Brogdon, I mean, Anthony Gill maybe, London maybe he may score. But, I mean, to be on Trevor's side, I can see why Purdue should win this game. I'm actually leaning towards picking Purdue now.
Well, are you guys all going with Purdue too? Phil, you're the last guy.
I think I would still have to go with Virginia, even though they're the pit of the ACC.
Phil, I'd agree with you, but, you know, we're the odd people out here.
Right.
These young people kicking us
Hey,
in the behind.
I picked Virginia.
Oh, then in that case, Mike,
I picked Purdue.
you're
I didn't
wrong.
make a
Yeah.
pick, did I?
Now you did.
Now that I'm thinking about
Yeah,
it.
Sarah did all the
didn't make a
talking in that
pick.
segment.
My bad.
That was
Oh.
all Sarah.
Well, that's how it should be. That's why Sarah's here, to keep us boys in check. So we got Virginia. Sorry, guys over at the couch, but you two, smart people. Mike, better luck next time. Utah, Michigan State. Are we still riding with the Spartans, or are we going with the Utes? Utes.
I'm going with Denzel Valentine and Sparty on, baby. Michigan State making a run this year. I like this Michigan State team. Always good defensively. Tom Izzo, they got one of the better head coaches, one of my favorite head coaches in NCAA. Yep, Spartans.
You basically said everything. I mean, experienced coach Tom Izzo under the guidance, and I just think they're a better team than Utah. I think Michigan State's going to win this game.
Tom Izzo, Denzel Valentine, done deal.
I guess enough said. So, is Michigan State going to beat Virginia for a third straight year in this exact same matchup.
No, they're gonna beat Purdue actually. I love this spot. Yeah, I'm getting a thumbs up over there. That's good. That made my night. You got Valentine and Forbes. They shoot a good 3-ball, and defense wins championships. This gets Michigan State to the Final Four.
Yeah, I have Michigan State winning this game. We brought up Denzel Valentine. He can do everything. He has 19 points per game, 7 assists, 7 rebounds. They have decent guard play, and then they have rebounder and Costello underneath. I just think they're going to win this game.
Third time is not the charm. Tom Izzo, once again, finds a way to get his team there every year. They're going to get past Virginia.
Well, we're down to the Final Four, and when we get back, we'll hear who's going to win the Natty.